We are given that we use finite differences to determine the equation for the polynomial corresponding to the given table of values. So we are told that when x is equal to -3, y is equal to 0. When x is equal to 3, y is equal to -24. And we are told to determine the equation of the polynomial. And of course, when we determine the equation of the polynomial, we shall be able to determine also the degree of the polynomial. Now, let's look at the solution. So what we do in determining the finite differences, we look at the finite difference, the first one. We look at the finite difference number 2. We look at finite difference number 3, and so on and so forth. So how do we determine the first finite difference? You get this one, you are going to be looking at it as x, maybe x naught, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6. And this one, you also look at it as y naught, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6. And the finite differences, we will be talking about y1 minus y naught. Then we go ahead and look at y2 minus y1. We go ahead and look at y3 minus y2. We go ahead and look at y4 minus y5. We go ahead and look at y6 minus y5. So let's proceed. -4 minus 0. -4 minus 0, I get -4. Let me look for another color. So I get -4. So I write my answer down here. I'm supposed to write it down here. So whatever I get, I write it here. So I have got a -4. I get 0 minus -4. And I'll get 4. So 0 minus -4, I get 4. Then 6 minus 0, I get 6. 8 minus 6, I get 2. 0 minus 8, I get -8. -24 minus 0, I get -24. I proceed. What is the second difference? Finite difference. Obviously, it will also be this minus that, this minus that, this minus that, this minus that, this, as I write here. So the next one will be it will be 4 minus 4 minus minus 4. So this would give you 8. 6 minus 4, this would give you 2. 2 minus 6, this is -4. -8, okay, minus 2, this is -10. -24 minus -8, this is -16. Then I proceed. The third difference will be this minus that, this minus that. So I get 2 minus 8, I write here. 2 minus 8, that is -6. -4 minus 2, I get -6. -10 minus -4, I get -6. -16 minus -10, okay, I get -6. So if I look at the fourth difference, this is going to be this minus that, I get 0. This minus that, I get 0. This minus that, I get 0. So to determine the degree of the polynomial, I would look at my differences. Which one which of the ones I have, which of the four gives me a constant value? It is 3, the one of what? The one of finite difference 3. So that would tell me that the degree of the polynomial is 3. So degree of this polynomial is equal to 3. I said, how do I get the degree of the polynomial? I look at my differences and see which one of the four or of the ones I have here gives me a constant value that is not 0. So corresponds to the third difference, okay? The third difference, okay? That has, okay, which has which has a constant and non-zero value. See here, it is a constant but it is 0. Therefore, it is not degree 4 but is degree 3 because the third difference gives me a constant value which is non-zero. Now the task is to look for the equation of that function. So now here, to determine, since I have already known that the polynomial is of degree 3, so I can say let the polynomial be, okay, ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, okay, and that is f of x is equal to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Now, how do we get a? Okay, so that a, this a is always equal to, okay, we can always obtain it from the fact that we know there is an expression from 6a h squared equal to the third difference, okay? So that third difference is related to a by this expression, is directly proportional to 6a, okay, to a and h squared. So if I'm to get that, okay, the constant value here is -6. So I'll have 6a times h. H is known. H is -3 minus 2 minus 2. And this is -1. It is a constant, so that's why we are going to take it. H is a step size in x values from 3 to 2, from 2 to 1, from 1 to 0, from 0 to 1. We see there is a difference of 1. Okay, so we are going to have -1 squared. Even if we put 1, it is okay because the step size is just a magnitude of that value, is an absolute value in other words. So 6a times h squared is equal to -6. So divide by 6, my a is equal to -1. So I've already seen that the coefficient of this x cubed is -1. Other people call it the leading coefficient. So others call it leading coefficient. So leading coefficient is equal to A and is equal to -1. So how do we determine the rest of the values? We shall say that f of x is equal to negative x cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. So we start putting in values. We know that f of 0, okay, is equal to 6. For example, we know that f of 0 is equal to 6. So what does that mean? I put in 0 here, I'll have 0 cubed, -0 cubed plus 0 squared, okay, times b plus 0 plus d is equal to 6, meaning that finally my d will equal to 6. Okay, that's how I can get the value of d. What else? I can also put in f of 1. Okay, so at x is equal to 1, so f of 1 will equal to negative 1 cubed plus b into 1 squared plus c into 1 plus 6, and this is equal to 8. It is seen up here because f of 1 is equal to 8 here. So f of 1 is equal to 8. So what we do, this becomes -1 plus b plus c and plus 6. This is equal to 8. So therefore, a b plus c will equal to 9 minus 6. This is equal to 3. I can call that equation 1 and then put f of 2 maybe. I know f of 2 is equal to this value, is equal to 0. So this is equal to 0, and this is equal to, I substitute in the function, this becomes negative into 2 cubed plus b into 2 squared plus c into 2 plus d, which is 6, and this is equal to 0. So this becomes -8 plus 4b plus 2c plus 6. This is equal to 0. This is -2, and therefore it will go the other side. So 4b plus 2c will equal to 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, okay, divide both sides by 2, I will find that this becomes 2b plus c is equal to 1. What does that mean? It was 2. So I can make, this is equation 2, but I can make C the subject so that my C is equal to 1 minus 2b. And I put star in equation 1. What does that become? If I bring it in here, I will have b, okay, my b plus 1 minus 2b is equal to 3. So this becomes minus b, and this is equal to 2. So my b is equal to negative 2. And what is my c? From this equation, c will become 1 minus 4. So that becomes 1 plus 4, and that becomes 5. So what will that equation become? So our equation we have determined the values of a is equal to negative 1, b is equal to negative 2, c is equal to 5, d is equal to 6, and therefore f of x will equal to negative 1 x cubed minus 2 x squared plus cx, which is 5x, plus d, which is 6. So that should be the equation that is going to give you these values when you substitute in x. Maybe let us test it. If x is equal to negative 2, so for example, at x is equal to negative 2, what is the value here? So we have minus 2 power 3, okay? Then minus 2 times 4, then plus 5 into negative 2, then plus 6. Okay, so what does it give us? Okay, let me put it properly. Minus 2 to power 3, then minus 2 then squared plus 5 into minus 2, then plus 6. So I find that if I put in my values, f of negative 2, I get minus into 2 minus 2 power 3 minus 2 into negative 2 squared plus 5 into minus 2 plus 6, and this is giving me negative 4. So this tells me that this function is okay because the value of f of x at x is equal to negative 2 is equal to negative 4. You can try it by putting in at x is equal to 3, you should be able to get negative 24. So maybe let's try it. At x is equal to 3, so that is f of 3. This becomes negative, then 3 cubed minus 2 into 3 squared plus 5 into 3 plus 6. So this is negative 27 minus 18 plus 15, then plus 6. So we get negative 24, meaning this function is very okay. So our polynomial, therefore, our polynomial will be negative x cubed will be negative x cubed minus 2x squared plus 5x plus 6, and that is it.